Hello, this is Myrie Lane from the Buying Space channel. Today I'm continuing my series in the four Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And I am in Matthew in the New Living Translation of the Bible. I'm in chapter 21. And chapter 21 has many sections in it. It covers Jesus' triumphant entry. Jesus clears the temple. Jesus curses the fig tree. The authority of Jesus challenged. The parable of the two sons. The parable of the evil farmers. So, I'm not going to read the chapter completely through. These parables, they're all very important, but I hear a lot about Jesus clears the temple. We have some issues in the modern church, and this is an important passage, and I'm not going to completely isolate it. I am going to talk about Jesus' triumphant entry, but I'm not, I'm going to stop after Jesus clears the temple, because it's so important. Well, maybe I should read each of these separately in this chapter. Let's do that. So I'm going to read Jesus' triumphant entry. As Jesus and the disciples approached Jerusalem, they come to the town of Bethphage on the Mount of Olives. Jesus sent two of them on the road ahead. "Go into the village over there," he said, "and soon as you enter it, you will see a donkey tied there with its colt beside it. Untie them and bring them to me. If anyone asks what you are doing, just say, 'The Lord needs them,' and they will immediately let you take them." This took place to fulfill the prophecy that said, "Tell the people of Jerusalem, look, your king is coming to you. He is humble, riding on a donkey's colt." The two disciples did as Jesus commanded. They brought the donkey and the colt to him and threw their garments over the colt, and he sat on it. Most of the crowd spread their garments on the road ahead of him, and others cut branches from the trees and spread them on the road. Jesus was in the center of the procession, and the people all around him were shouting, "Praise God for the Son of David! Blessings on the one who comes in the name of the Lord! Praise God in highest heaven!" The entire city of Jerusalem was in uproar as he entered. "Who is this?" they asked. And the crowds replied, "It is Jesus, the prophet from Nazareth in Galilee." So by this time, Jesus had taught enough people. He fed crowds of thousands. Two different times, one 5,000, one 4,000. And all the Jews had recognized the prophecies. And he was of the line of David through Joseph to them. And so he met all the qualifications of the coming Messiah. So they started believing. And Herod had killed all the babies of his generation except for him and John the Baptist and maybe a few others that escaped the tyranny of Herod killing all the male infants because of the prophecies. So Jesus, they looked at him as in the day as their potential future king to rid them of the Romans. So once word spread that he'd healed uh, the blind and the lame and the lepers, and he cast out demons, and he had raised people from the dead, he had thousands and thousands of followers, and Jerusalem and all the Jewish nation at that time, they were expecting him to save them from being oppressed by an occupying country. So, in a way, he was still starting a revolution. And indeed, he absolutely did start a revolution that's lasted a couple thousand years now. So, anyway, the rest of the chapter, I'm definitely going to read. Jesus clears the temple by itself, even though it's 4 verses. I think it needs its own video because it is important to what's going on in our day and time. I'm also reading Revelation in the King James Version of the Bible. So perhaps I'll bring some information from Revelation or read some additional verses. That's one thing that I haven't done to this point, is bring in the verses that are cited in a text to demonstrate additional principles in the book. I have been just reading one passage at a time, like in the 4 Gospel series. I'm going straight through the 4 Gospels, and I haven't brought or read anything else or talked about relevance of other scriptures or texts while I do a Bible reading. I've done very, very, very little of that. So that might change in the future. I might